Okay, so today we're going deep on something I think pretty incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It's the connection between the way a baby's heart develops, like in the womb,
Uh-huh.
and the idea of Mama Mary's flame of love.
Right.
So it's kind of bringing together science and spirituality, which is always
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, for sure.
And blending these two worlds that you wouldn't think would go together.
It's pretty amazing how they connect those.
Really is. I mean, get ready for some serious mind-blowing moments here. Because we're going to be talking about the heart develops so early on.
Right.
And then how that ties into this message of love and protection for babies before they're born.
Absolutely.
I mean, it all starts right at the very beginning,
a miracle of life.
when life begins.
Exactly that moment when a soul and a body, they come together
Mm-hmm.
and a tiny little embryo starts growing.
It's amazing.
Really makes you think about how the physical and the spiritual is so connected.
Doesn't it? And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Only 3 weeks after conception, a tiny little tube starts forming.
Oh, wow.
And that's the very, very beginning of the heart.
That's incredible. I mean, think about that. Just 3 weeks.
I know.
And already such a vital organ is starting to take shape.
It's wild, right?
It really highlights the power and efficiency of, natural processes.
Mm-hmm.
Like that simple tube, it doesn't stay that way for long.
No.
It transforms so quickly, like folding and dividing until it forms those 4 chambers.
Right. The atria and the ventricles.
Exactly. It's like this precisely choreographed dance of development.
And then between 5 and 6 weeks in,
Mm-hmm.
that tiny heart starts to beat.
Yeah. That's one of the very first signs of life that we can actually detect.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a powerful moment.
That the heart is so much more than just a pump.
Right. It's not just about circulating blood.
It's like a delivery system,
Uh-huh.
taking all those vital nutrients and oxygen.
To every single part of the developing baby.
Yeah, it's like fueling their growth.
Yeah, like the heart is literally expressing love.
Through nourishing the baby.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. A really beautiful metaphor for that life-giving force that the heart represents.
I think that's a great point.
Thanks.
So let's kind of shift gears a little bit here
Okay.
and talk about Mama Mary's flame of love.
Oh,
For those who maybe aren't familiar with this idea,
Right.
could you give us a little explanation?
Absolutely. So
Mm.
Mama Mary's flame of love,
Mm-hmm.
it's the spiritual force,
Mm-hmm.
like this symbol of unconditional love and protection
Wow.
that surrounds all of humanity,
It's beautiful.
especially, the most vulnerable among us,
Yeah.
unborn children.
It's often described as like a spiritual heartbeat for the world.
That's a great way to think about it.
The developing heart and Mama Mary's flame of love.
They both nurture and sustain life,
Exactly. It's like,
like a mother's love nourishing her child,
yeah. And Mama Mary's flame of love
showering that same care and grace and protection.
on all babies in the womb.
It's a powerful image.
It really is. And it highlights how vulnerable babies are, before they're born.
Mm-hmm. And how much they need that love and protection.
Exactly. And Mama Mary's flame of love.
It's like a call to action to cherish and protect and pray for every single life.
Right from the very beginning.
Exactly.
So thinking about everything we've talked about,
Yeah.
what stands out to you the most?
For me, it's the harmony
Mm-hmm.
between the science and the spirituality, like
Yeah.
the biological marvel of how the heart develops,
Mm-hmm.
and then the spiritual message of Mama Mary's flame of love.
So true.
It's like this tiny little heart beating in the womb.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about the power of life and growth and love.
Okay, so it's linking something we can all picture, like a heartbeat,
Uh-huh.
with something, I guess, more abstract,
Mm.
like spiritual care and the whole sanctity of life idea.
Just how sacred life is right from the very beginning, and that we need to care for it,
Makes sense. How would this analogy work for people from different backgrounds? Would it still resonate?
That is a great question. And I think what's interesting is the heartbeat.
Everyone understands that.
Even without the religious part, people link heartbeats with life, with energy and also with being vulnerable.
That's true.
So just on a human level, it still speaks volumes about how precious developing life is and how we need to protect it.
I see what you mean. It's like using that familiar heartbeat.
Right.
It bridges the gap between different views and maybe gets people talking about the value of life, like from the moment of conception.
Exactly. And for those who connect with the Mary tradition, it adds that extra dimension, It ties her love as a mother to that steady beat, that constant support for the little one.
Wow. Like the physical heartbeat to point towards this deeper, more spiritual understanding of what it means for life to be sacred.
Powerful, right? Using something tangible to make a really complex concept more, down to earth.
Definitely. So to sum it up, Mama Mary's Flame of Love uses that powerful image of a heartbeat to really drive home the importance of protecting life from conception. Makes us think about those very first stages of development and how we need to be responsible and care for what's vulnerable.
And maybe, just maybe, by thinking about this analogy, it could help us approach this whole topic, which can be sensitive, right? With more empathy and understanding.
No matter what we personally believe, you mean?
Exactly.
Wow. You've really given me a lot to think about.
Good.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We hope you'll keep reflecting on these ideas with us. See you next time.